Welcome to Brave Awareness. I'm Ron Powell McLean, meditation teacher, author, and poet, and someone who's done their fair share of surviving. This podcast isn't here to teach you how to fix yourself. It's here to remind you that you're not broken. These are spoken transmissions for modern minds, reflections, disruptions, and sacred interruptions. Let's begin. Have you ever reached for your phone just to see if anyone was thinking of you? Not because something urgent happened, not because you needed anything specific. Just a quiet longing for connection, a little ping of shared humanity, and then nothing. That moment where you feel yourself falling inward, it's easy to miss. But it's the start of something that many of us know quite intimately, the shame spiral. So today we're going to slow it down a little bit. We'll learn to see it as it begins, not after it's already swept us away. This will be your field guide to catching shame in motion and choosing a different path. So shame doesn't start as shame. It starts as disappointment or silence, or the feeling of just being left out. And then our mind tries to explain it. Maybe I talked too much. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I'm just not that important. We assume that we're the problem because it gives us something to fix. It gives us a false sense of control. That's the spiral. It's subtle, it's fast, and it's exhausting. It tricks us into thinking that the pain has meaning, that the silence says something true about who we are. But most of the time it doesn't. It says more about our old stories than our current reality. A few days ago, I found myself checking my phone over and over. I'd spent several hours with some people that I care about, both who needed a little love and attention. I was glad to be there for them, and I showed up fully, listened deeply, and held space. But afterwards, I felt completely drained. In that moment, I didn't want advice. I didn't want a deep conversation. I actually wanted a little levity, a funny meme, a story, a giggle. Something simple and warm, friendly. So I looked to the usual people that I might hear from, just to see if anyone had reached out. But my screen was blank. And in that moment, a familiar old script started creeping in for me. Of course, no one reached out. I'm too much. I talk about myself too much. I'm too needy. Maybe I'm just plain annoying. And maybe they're avoiding me. It was so quiet I almost didn't notice it, but I felt it, that pull into the spiral. And here's the thing, the spiral doesn't always come with a roar. Sometimes it whispers, and when we're tired, those whispers echo. And that's where the practice that we talked about in episode 4 came online for me. The practice of noticing. I didn't need to shame the feeling or fix it. I just needed to notice what was happening. That's where the interruption begins. I literally sat down the phone, exhaled, and said out loud to no one, "Don't chase." It wasn't performance. It wasn't me trying to manifest something. It was an act of alignment. Because in that moment, I remembered I don't need to go looking for scraps of connection. I don't have to shrink to be tolerable. I don't have to earn love by being endlessly useful or available. I was just tired, and what I actually needed was rest, presence, and kindness toward myself. I wasn't being rejected. I was just forgetting my own enoughness. And this is where many of us get caught. We confuse depletion with rejection. We confuse a quiet day with abandonment. We confuse stillness with failure. But connection isn't something we have to chase. It's something we come home to, starting with ourselves. Here's a few practices that might help you catch your spiral before it gains any speed. First, you can say it out loud, literally speak, "Don't chase," or "I'm here with me." Notice the moment. Noticing is the practice. You don't need to be perfect, just present. Even mid-spiral, even after the story starts, or you could even be down the hill. And if you can see the pattern, you can interrupt it. Then I want you to name what you need. It's usually not a reply, it's an acknowledgement. So start by offering it to yourself. Next, you could move. You can breathe. You can listen to a song, go for a walk, change rooms, dance, disrupt the trance. In that moment, don't judge. Stay curious. Ask, what am I believing right now? Often it's not what's true, it's what's old. It's a pattern. I want you to remind yourself this is familiar, not fatal. You don't have to end up in the same place you always end up when a button is pushed. Patterns repeat. That doesn't mean you failed, it means you're human. I want you to remember, you are not too much. You are not hard to love. You don't have to please or perform to deserve attention. The next time shame begins its spiral, don't wait until you're at the bottom to realize what happened. Just notice. That's the doorway to everything. Say it out loud if you have to. I see it. I'm still here. And I'm okay. You don't have to ride the spiral. You can interrupt it. You can breathe in and begin again. Come home to yourself again and again. Not because you're broken, but because you're already whole. If this opened something for you, stay close. You can subscribe, share it, or just sit with what stirred. Brave awareness isn't a destination, it's a return. I'll meet you there again soon.